Your marriage is on one of two paths. It's either on the path of intimacy, where you're growing closer and closer together, or it's on the path of separation, where you're basically growing further and further apart. So let's talk about how to find and stay on the right path.
When we're talking about intimacy, we're talking about more than sex, although that's really important, intimacy. We're also talking about every kind of connection you enjoy, whether it is just staying connected emotionally, staying connected spiritually, financially, and of course, in bed. That's what we're talking about. And you can be on a path of intimacy where you're turned towards those things, staying there, growing in those things, or a lot of times we hit a drift where life starts to turn us away from each other and we're drifting.
When we talk to couples, we talk to them about how intimacy, that intimate, deep connection between the two of you, is the main goal in marriage. You can check out this episode right here for more on that topic. But the bottom line is God hardwired us to desire intimacy, to desire connection for Him and connection to each other in marriage.
And this connection is organic. It just is living. It happens. It evolves. And it is either living or dying. There's no just staying status quo.
That's right.
You've got to be either growing together or else you are in even the slowest drift. You still may be completely good-willed towards each other, but you become roommates. You become really good, friendly roommates because you are one.
That's right.
When you got married, you became one. So any degree of separation begins to hurt.
We've been talking to couples for a dozen years or more, and it seems to always come back to this issue: intimacy and connection and closeness. So why is it so difficult to stay on that path of intimacy and so easy to get on that path of separation? It's when you don't pay attention. It's when you don't take those daily actions to turn toward each other, to love each other, to prioritize your marriage, to prioritize each other, that this slow drift starts to happen. And there's another big one.
You're failing to meet each other's needs.
That's a big one.
We get so busy, and there's so many things that compete for our attention, not to mention kids or even our cell phones, that this just happens. And after a long time, if you stay on that drift and you start to have unmet needs, that's when you really hit a lot more pain. So here's a story of something happened in our marriage. We were driving along. I'm mad. I'm looking out my window. He is driving, staring straight ahead. I think we were on our way to deliver marriage notebooks to people. And we were in this disconnect and both of us feeling annoyed with the other person. And probably ourselves too, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But I can remember at one point we were pulled over. I think we had to wait a few minutes to meet up with somebody. And I thought, okay, I'm going to be the one to go first. And I probably was thinking, like always, but it doesn't matter. Just be the first one to go first. And I reached my hand across. We were in the car on the console. He had his hand on the console. And I went to grab his hand, and he just pulled it away and went right back to the steering wheel. And I was so mad because I'd taken that risk that I turned to him, and I can remember, and he remembers too. I said, okay, Mr. Marriage Ministry, I just reached over to bridge the gap, and you pretty much just bit my hand. And then we both burst out laughing because it really was ridiculous. And luckily that broke the ice. I mean, hopefully he would just grab your hand and then you both say, I'm sorry, and you just try to work on it from there. So be sure to focus on staying connected and doing those little things that help you stay on the path of intimacy.
If you really want to dig into this whole idea of the path of intimacy, you can get my book. I'll put the link in the comments. It's just called The Path of Intimacy. And please feel free to check that out. We're going to be talking a lot more in coming episodes about how to do that, how to stay on the path of intimacy, and how to stay off the path of separation. So stick around. Hit the subscribe button and be sure to click the notifications so you won't miss an episode.